What is my philosophy on camping in an FPS game? Of course, this varies from title to title, game mode to game mode, and also it varies as to what my mood is. Sometimes when I play an FPS game, I'm dead tired and I'm just doing it to unwind or because I can't sleep, and I'm not going to be at my fastest when I'm at my sleepiest. So it also depends on what weapon I'm using or what challenge I'm going for in said game, and I don't know, there's a lot of things that come into play. I'm not going to play every video game the same, every game mode the same, with every weapon the same. I do adapt my playstyle based on a number of factors. But in case you only had like a minute of your time to spare, my overall philosophy on camping in FPS games is that if you're going to keep coming, I'm going to be here waiting. So let me use an example of this. Now, in my little montage I made of me using the Car 98, there was a bit of the gameplay where I was basically in one spot on Azure Cave by one of the main cave entrances. I edited it to look a bit snappier in my montage because the montage was just for fun. It was just to, have some music sync up with gameplay because I didn't know what else to upload. But my idea in that moment when I was getting that gameplay was that if they're going to keep coming, I'm going to be here waiting. And I got 7 kills with my Car 98 and not one of them took me out. And I actually went on to a different spot on the map later and got killed over there, I think. Maybe I should have stayed put, but they were going to keep funneling through the cave, and they, for some reason, kept expecting me not to be there despite taking out some of them multiple times. And in my opinion, that is 100% on them. There was also a moment, and I wish I could find it. I went through all of my game clips a couple weeks ago trying to find this clip. I think I either accidentally deleted it or forgot to record it, or maybe it happened during a live stream, but I got to the top warehouse that overlooks the trenches on Grozny Raid with an LMG, and I mounted the LMG and took out about 8 people. I got my VTOL without ever moving my left analog stick. So basically 4 idiots gave me a VTOL because they wanted to keep challenging a mounted LMG with a height advantage. So in my personal opinion, if I'm camping somewhere and I'm netting like 2 kills a minute, then there's really no point to do it. I might be tilting the occasional person that wonders why the hell I'm there, but I'm not helping my team really that much. I'm not going to end up on the top of the scoreboard. I'm not really going to get any kill streaks that are going to have any time to do anything. So if I'm using an LMG or sniper rifle or marksman, something usually used at a longer range that isn't as good in aggressive scenarios, what I end up asking myself is, what am I doing? Am I locking down an important lane? Am I protecting an objective? Have I killed multiple people and it's in my best interest to stay here as they keep attempting to challenge me? And depending on yes or no's to those various questions, and maybe some other ones depending on the game mode or the game I'm playing, I decide to move or to stay. And in my opinion, camping is a very loose term. I use it when I'm playing to describe somebody that's locking down an area. I also use it to describe somebody who sits in a corner with 2 claymores and a shotgun waiting for somebody to walk in front of them. And that's my bad, because really my only problem with camping, the only thing I would consider to be a camping problem, are the people that obsessively sit in little corners and wait. Call them safe spaces if you will, but every Call of Duty game, every FPS game I've played really has those types of players that absolutely refuse to move. Even if the position doesn't really grant them that many advantages, they just don't really want to get into any gunfights, and it kind of paints them as a bit of a scaredy cat. To me, that's a camping problem, but somebody staying in one place makes sense to me if they're locking down a lane or an objective. If I, in Modern Warfare, have my LMG mounted in a place that keeps people off of a hardpoint, keeps people from getting to the hardpoint in the first place, defends a flag of some kind, then in my opinion, I've done the right thing. Unfortunately, the Call of Duty community, and a lot of other FPS communities as well, frown on this, but at the same time, I don't care in the moment. Depending on what the moment calls for is kind of what I do. If I'm fighting a group of heavily aggressive enemies that are constantly pushing hardpoints, they're always on the flag, they spawn and sprint right into combat, they're aggressive, jump-shotting, drop-shotting, SMG, light AR users, those types of players, when they start getting momentum and calling in streaks, makes me slow down. I slow down and I wait for them. I mount corners, I mount walls, I place claymores, I place landmines, and I try to use their speed against them, their carelessness, their cockiness against them. Now, when it comes to somebody or a team of people that are being exceptionally conservative, I try to shake that up right quick. Thermite grenades, smoke grenades, gas grenades, double C4, RPG, frag grenades. I try to go all in. Because I know how embarrassing it looks from my perspective when 4 people feed me a VTOL because they keep challenging my entrenched location. And I don't want to look like that. I want to shake up their playstyle. I want to make their playstyle uncomfortable to perform. One of my favorite classes in Modern Warfare is to run a sniper rifle without a glint providing scope, because I don't want them to see me looking at them, but, you know, a nice sniper rifle and an SMG. And then what I do is I can counter-snipe people from interesting angles, swap to my SMG, run to a different angle, and either counter-snipe a camper, then I might enter a building with an SMG and a C4 and go ahead and take a camper out of a building. I also find it funny to throw decoys around a camper's position. If they've killed me multiple times, just start throwing decoys around it and they'll constantly be worrying about the little red dot on their map, because it's not in their best interest to ignore it, so they have to look at that red dot. And if I'm using restock, 2 frags, and 2 decoys, that can get a lot of fun really quick. And then throw on an RPG in case they really just won't budge. My philosophy on camping is that if people are going to continue to run into your bullets, let them. Don't get in the way of your opponents when they're making a mistake. And if I ever hear my friends saying, "Oh, that guy is still there," my response is, yeah, and he's still killing you. So what are you gonna do about it? I've been bested by campers, but I also know I've bested more campers than have bested me, so I'm sitting pretty in any FPS game I play. I think it's fun to adapt your playstyle. Pick a different operator, a different hero, a different class setup, a different loadout, different attachments, different equipment, in order to take somebody out of their playstyle, whether they're overly aggressive, overly campy, somewhere in the middle. For instance, quickscopers have a lot of trouble quickscoping through smoke. They also have a lot of trouble quickscoping when concussion, flashbang, gas grenaded. It's all the same. If you watch my live streams, you'll still hear me complain about various types of players because Call of Duty is where I go to complain. But at the same time, in a competitive environment, your enemies are there to be countered. And some games make that easier, some games make that a lot harder. And even in games like Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and Black Ops 4, some of it just felt kind of arbitrary due to specialist abilities sort of having instant kill buttons. Negating your ability to problem solve and forcing you into a respawn screen is, I think, the definition of arbitrary. But to all the people out there that are scared of camping, scared of somebody standing still, scared of somebody playing slow, and you believe that speed equals skill, I'll have you know that some of the bitchiest players I've ever had the misfortune of playing with are fast meatheads whose only skill set is aim, shoot, jump, drop. These are people that are always concerned about aim down sight time, sprint out time, all the time. That's all they worry about. How fast can I ADS? How fast do I come out of sprint? How loud are my footsteps? And while those things are important to me as well, the hardest players I've ever had to fight against and the most calm players that I've ever got to play with, the coolest players, are the ones that know when to run and know when to hold back, know when to play slow and know when to play fast. They'll rush you with an SMG, jump around a corner into a prone position, gunning you down and 3 of your buddies, or they might lay back into a building with a sniper rifle picking you off before you can get to the objective. These types of players in any FPS game are more versatile, and it's my philosophy. I need to know how to be aggressive and push and win gunfights and win objectives. That requires speed, accuracy, and decisiveness. Those are important, but if all you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. If I'm holding down a long line of sight, a bedroom, a bathroom, a doorway, a hallway, if I'm locking something down and you're feeding me multiple kills, whose fault is that? The game developer's, mine, or yours? If that game allows you to customize your loadouts mid-game, if that game allows you a certain amount of flexibility through character options, hero abilities, operator traits, various pieces of equipment, then I'm going to say 80% of the time, it's really your fault. But sometimes shitty games happen where an entire enemy team is so obnoxious that you can't possibly do anything against, and in those rare cases, I would say either leave and find another match or toughen up, Buttercup. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video for whatever reason. I'd like to hear your philosophy on camping down below. I've seen everything from people in the actual military do it, so it's realistic, all the way up through players should be marked on the minimap in real time if they hold still for longer than 30 seconds. So let me know what you think down below. In my opinion, a good player is flexible and a bad player runs into a camper more than twice. Make sure when debating in the comment section you leave out every form of nuance and pretend that you are the best FPS player to grace said comment section. That should be pretty productive for everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.